Good evening, good day, everyone. I'm Assistant Rotary Membership Coordinator Ade Onayemi, and I'm delighted to welcome you to our November Membership Master Vault series. Thank you for spending this hour with us. Tonight's topic is navigating membership growth and retention, a topic that sits right at the heart of Rotary's future. Every club, no matter its size or location, is working to attract new members while keeping current members engaged, connected, and fulfilled. When clubs strengthen both growth and retention, they create a culture where people want to serve, want to lead, and want to stay. And tonight, we're going to explore how membership, foundation, and public image all work together to make that happen. Before we jump in, just a few quick notes. Please participate, drop your questions into the Q&A as we go. This session is being recorded, and you may find that recording at the Zone website. And you're welcome to share it. We encourage you to share it with your clubs. We always welcome feedback on how to make this series stronger each month. Tonight, we're joined by three amazing leaders from our zones. Sharon Miles, the Regional Foundation Coordinator. Patrick Harrison, Regional Public Image Coordinator. And Demetris Harrell, Regional Membership Coordinator. Thank you all for being here and for the leadership you provide across our districts. To get warmed up, I'd love for each of you to share briefly your Rotary journey, how long you've been in Rotary, your current role, and why membership is so important to you. I'll give each of you about 2 minutes. Let's start with Sharon. Come on, Sharon.
Okay. Hi, my name is Sharon Miles, and I joined Rotary in 1999 as a club president in 2002. Had lots of responsibilities, and then I started working at the district level. I did the district grants for 4 years. I did an endowment chair for 4 years, executive secretary for a while, the DRFC for the district for 3 years, and continue working at the district level also. I became an RFC for 3 years, and then an RRFC. This is my second year in that position, and I love it, and I've enjoyed it. So that's kind of my history in Rotary, my journey. And another part was why membership's important.
Yes.
My membership is important to me. I joined my club because they were active in the community, and it was a club that had the most status in the community, and all of the important people in our community, the leadership in our community, were members of that organization, and I wanted to be a part of that. So I joined for one reason, and I stayed for another reason. I stayed because of the connections we make and the difference we made in the projects and serving alongside others that had common core beliefs that I had. So that's the only club I've ever been in, and it's been 26 years. So that's why my journey, and that's what I'm doing now.
Thank you for that. Yes, please. I'm going to go over to you, Demetris. Same thing. How long have you been in Rotary? Your current role, and why is membership so important to you?
Thank you, moderator. I am, of course, Demetris Harrell, and I joined Rotary in 1998. And so during that time, I've had a wonderful Rotary journey. My current role, of course, is Region 36 membership coordinator, Rotary membership coordinator. And I have been so fortunate to sit around the table and hear from our distinguished guests that we have tonight. I joined because I was told. I think that we hear that a lot. Someone invited me. And when I joined, I recognized the significant impact that Rotarians were making, not only in our community, but around the world. And I did not quite see during that time in the initial journey the significance of the impact from a district, a regional, when we think about our zones, and then Rotary International. I really tie together, hey, we are a local club and we are doing so much to support our community. And then we also do these things around the world. But today that vision has broadened. And with the roles that I have been able to serve in and the capacity of even being a president's representative and going to another district, I have seen the world from a broader lens. And I really think that I've done very little when I think about all of the amazing people that are doing something every single day, from eradicating polio to giving those children shoes. It is truly amazing. And I am just fortunate and blessed to be in the room with those impactful leaders.
Excellent. Thank you. Yes. Always, you hear the recurring themes for all of us. And it takes a while to really start to appreciate what you get into, which is why we want people to stay long enough to start finding out all these wonderful benefits in Rotary and what you gain. Patrick, same thing, please. How long have you been in Rotary? What's your role and why is membership so important to you?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you to everyone, especially this awesome panel of my Rotary sisters. I'm so honored to work with them and all of you guys that have put this on tonight. And thank you to everyone who's taken the time to be here with us tonight. We know that you're busy and you have a lot going on, but thank you. Thank you for taking the time. And to all of those that are watching on the recording, hi, how are you? My name is Patrick Harrison. I am the Rotary Public Image Coordinator for Region 36, Zones 25B and 29. I joined Rotary in 2013, September. So I guess that's what, 12 years? No, no, 50, almost 15 years, right? I don't know the math. I'm tired. I guess a long time for me, but not compared to the rest of the people on here. So I started as a Rotarian because I was asked to come to a meeting to get to know the community back in Austin, because I came back from New York and went back to Austin. My father was a Rotarian for years at another club. And so my attorney said, hey, come to our club, come check it out. The minute I walked in, I realized I was with my people. And from that moment forward, I never looked back. I was the District Public Image co-chair of District 5870 Central Texas's PI team, Public Image team, for almost 10 years. I was a president 2 years in a row, and I started working at the zone level as an assistant Rotary Public Image coordinator with Lisa Herring and Eric Liu, I think back in 2016. So I've been involved with that position for a while, and then I was a Rotary Public Image advisor with Arpit Kalhagen and the entire team we had for 3 years, and then we've had this role now for a year and a half. It's an honor to be in this role. It's an honor to have the amazing team that I have. Our team is full of rock stars, and so I'm so blessed to have them as teammates, and we are trying to make a huge impact in the region. I will say Rotary saved my life. Rotary, I've gone through a lot in my life, especially during the pandemic and around that time period. And if it wasn't for, in fact, Sharon Miles, I have to give credit to my sister Sharon, who gave me the opportunity to really dive in and get involved in hosting Zone and a couple other things during that time of the pandemic, and it saved my life. It gave me purpose and a different off myself, service above self. And it's an incredible organization. We're the #1 service organization on the planet. And so membership is everything. Without membership, we're not even in existence. So I'm blessed and honored to have this conversation tonight.
Yes, thank you, Patrick. This is why you are the public image person, so articulate, and so it brought so much of it out. I can't even begin to pick at the things that I want to, emphasize. But the critical thing, the thing that's all of us have said is somebody asked us to join. Somebody asked, and it's wonderful. Even for you, a legacy, somebody still asked, and it's wonderful. And thank you for staying. Really appreciate you. Thank you all for sharing your journeys. Now let's go deeper into tonight's topic. When we talk about navigating membership growth and retention, we're really talking about the entire Rotary experience, from the moment someone is introduced to Rotary to the moment when they decide to stay, serve, and in most of our cases, especially the three of you, lead. And the truth is, membership, foundation, and public image are not three separate ideas. They are they're the pillars, the three pillars working together. The foundation gives people a reason to say, wow, Rotary really matters. Public image helps the world understand who we are and why we serve. Membership brings people into that story and keeps them engaged. So tonight we'll explore how these pieces fit together to strengthen our clubs. I have a few questions. Starting out, let's start with Rotary Foundation. And I'm going to ask all three of you to jump into this. We'll start with Sharon because she's the foundation person here. How does giving to the Rotary Foundation foster growth in Rotary?
Okay, well, I will just say that people give their time, their talent, and their treasures. It's a very personal decision. It depends on what their passion is and what they're passionate about. And I think the opportunity that to get them to give is to them to learn what Rotary actually is. It is about the connections. It's about service. It's about so many other things that we do as Rotarians, but it's really making a difference in the lives of other people. And I think whether it's a service project or if it's awarding scholarships or if it's an international project, people get to see what happens when Rotary appears in their community and does something that makes a difference. Demetrius talked about shoes. We talked about other different projects that we have, not just locally, but around the world. And I think the action of Rotarians really demonstrates the importance of why we give. And when we give, then it makes us more passionate, it makes us more connected, and we feel like we are changing the world and changing our own little community, or maybe even changing our club. So I think that is why it's important that we give to the foundation, because we'll grow from that, we learn from that. More members come in and they want to be part of the action.
Very good. Yes, thank you. So Demetrius, what do you think about that from the membership perspective?
Being that we are right now celebrating this month as Foundation, I know Sharon knows and recognizes what we have done to foster that unity. But this is what I see in how the Foundation truly fosters growth among Rotary, is without it, we would not have the impact. We would not be able to expand our reach, and we definitely would not be able to do the multitude of objectives and initiatives that we all love doing. It is actually being able to put into action what we say we are all about. Without service, then we don't touch lives and we don't change outcomes. And through the foundation, it fosters ideas. Every single time I think about Deb, one of our coordinators, she said we need to empower girls. She tells us this because she has actually been boots on the ground. She has gone to different countries and she has seen how children are not receiving all of the services because they don't have the income, the economic downfalls and the disparity. And so that fostered not only the idea to have an action group, but it also fostered the opportunity for involvement. And I was quick to join, but I don't want to just join. I want to show that that dollar is making a difference. And so I remember when past District Governor Michelle Berear allowed us to come into her home and we made items so that we could send for girls who were having to miss school because they did not have some of the sanitary items that I or we take for granted. And so that is fostering not only growth in Rotary, because we grow because we know, we grow because we have knowledge, and we are able to change the world because someone has given us an idea that we believe we can get involved in. And so I think that's what we have to continue to do, is not just think about you're giving a dollar, but we want to show you how the dollar is used and what happens at the end of the day, that the life is changed forever.
Oh, thank you. And Patrick,
Well,
how do we share this story here?
the key is, in our society today, and this is really around the world, people do not like anything that's not authentic. They want authenticity. They want authenticity when you're telling a story, when you're sharing the great work you're doing. And what's beautiful about this organization is we are the premier foundation in the world. We are, I think it's 17 years now, Sharon,
Mhm.
4-star rated Charity Navigator. That is public image gold. And when you give to the foundation and when you encourage and inspire to give to the foundation, we must not forget to also say that we are the premier largest foundation in the world, that a donor gets to choose where the money goes. So when you get to empower the community to say, hey, you care about X, Y, and Z, give it to this foundation, to our Rotary Foundation. Choose where your money wants to go. Then come get involved on the ground. Get your hands into the project. Get your hands wet. Get going. When you see that shift in someone, when they start to feel inspired, and you're going to hear me say this a lot tonight about inspiration because it's key. That is public image gold. So giving to the foundation and then allowing and supporting a service project in the community is public image, because we can sit there and teach people all day long how to tell a story. We can teach you how to be social media rock stars, how to get media to show up to your events. We are doing that on the ground in the region. Our team is doing 6-hour trainings and we're doing workshops. But if you're not providing what you're selling, and if you're not giving people the opportunity to feel inspired and feel connected and getting involved in making the community a better place, then it doesn't matter. So to me, public image and foundation and membership are always intertwined. But when it comes to giving and serving the community, that's the perfect example.
Well, that segues into my next question. Basically, again, in what ways can foundation donors, there's people who are giving, how can those donors help recruit new members?
Well, I'm going to go jump on that. Patrick, thank you for what you said, because you were talking about some things I'd already thought about for this particular question. And, again, I said becoming a donor is personal. It's their passion, and they have a story, and they have a reason they give to a certain project. And the fact that Rotary allows them to pick which project you want to go to, there's not many things that our areas of focus don't cover. So it's really an opportunity for them to share what they're doing, share their wealth, share their time. And I agree, Patrick, the other part of that is the service. And so most of our donors have provided service, and that's one of the ways they became a donor. Um, so I would say we when we have an event in our district, a foundation event, we always ask one of our major donors if they would mind telling their story at our foundation at our reception, and they tell their story. And it inspires other people in the room to think, you know what, I can do that too. I can give that. I can give a donation. I can be a part of this. I want to be a part of it. And I remember the first time I was a fairly young Rotarian, and Dan Morales was our one of our leaders in our district. I thought a lot of him. I just respected him so much. Well, I went to a dinner, a Bant Foundation gala, and they presented him his major donor award. I thought, gosh, what is that? Maybe what I want to know about that. So I learned about it, and then a year later, I was at my club meeting and Dan came to our meeting. I thought, wonder why he's here. That's great. I'm glad you're here. And at the end of the meeting, he presented me my major donor, Crystal. And so it just meant a lot to me. It was a connection that I made with him, and I will never forget it. So I think our donors, people look up to, they respect them, and they're so generous. They're generous with their time and with their talent and with their treasures. So they are our ambassadors to be for our foundation.
Mhm. Demetrius, do you want to add anything to this portion?
I really can't add a lot to it, but I think, one of the things that I have been fortunate to see people do is when they invite someone in, they are creative and they use what they have done for Rotary to make that significant charge. This is why I have been a member. And the other thing I think we don't utilize as much as we should, but when we bring people into Rotary and we really want them to be a part of the Rotary family and feel good about the work that they've done, I've shared those points with them and made them a Paul Harris. I know sometimes people say, well, you need to work for it, before just giving it. But, I think that one of the greatest gifts that we've been able to do is host a Service Above Self award ceremony. And when we see people in our community that are making a difference and changing lives every single day, we would give them a Paul Harris. So I think that that's another great way and avenue to get people to join is you let them know the significance of Paul Harris and his historical attribute, and then also what that Paul Harris means. That pen is so significant, and it's a beauty to hold and know that you received it from someone who cares enough about you to believe that you should be one too.
Well, great. You've actually answered one of my other questions in terms of what opportunities, what events can clubs use to tell these stories, to get these donors to encourage new members. You've mentioned a couple of events there, things that giving people opportunities, one to acknowledge what they're doing and share the stories. So that's wonderful.
Can I add one thing, if you don't
Go
mind,
ahead,
just real quickly?
Patrick.
I
Jump
think
in.
I think one thing that we should also bring up is disaster relief. Now, I know that's not, something that we talk about all the time, and unfortunately, we're having to talk about it more these days.
Mhm.
But when a donor knows about the integrity not only of the foundation, but of Rotary and Rotarians and Rotary clubs that are on the ground responding, that is a huge public image moment. You can use Ukraine as an example. The
Mhm.
membership has almost doubled in Ukraine during a war. I bet some people on the call tonight can't even get five people sometimes to show up for a cocktail at 5:30 at
Mhm.
night in their local club. So why do we think that Ukrainians have joined Rotary and doubled their membership? Well, it's because they see the integrity, they see the action, they see the impact right in front of them. It's impacting their lives. So, all of us know the different horrific disasters that we've all had to live through in the last number of years, but we've also seen the magic of Rotary and the magic of the foundation showing up when they need to be there on the ground, relationships rooted in the community, and the money goes straight to the cause. And so I think that is something that we, as leaders of this organization, as Rotarians, can continue to push into the community is, hey, you want to go help the flood victims, donate here, because you
Mhm.
can guarantee your money is going to go straight to the area where it's needed, because the people that are running the response are Rotarians and leaders of their community. And so when When the recipients of aid, as well as people in the community, start seeing that action, that's public image gold. They'll go find their Rotary Club near them so they can start serving and joining this incredible organization. And it all started with a donor.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I'd like to jump into another issue where we've been talking about one, bringing new members in and retaining them. That issue of retention always keeps coming up. What would you as leaders, um, uh, what would you say we can do to encourage retention amongst members? These opportunities to serve and to use the funds that we're getting through the foundation.
I can start quickly and then I'll let everybody else continue. This is a message we're talking about as a team on the road, and this is sort of a very membership focused section of our public image team's message. And it is that public image is everything. And public image starts with the vibe of your club. So when someone walks in the door, how do they feel? Are they welcomed? Are they greeted? Do they feel like they can be a part of the family immediately? Are the members in the club excited and not bored? Or are they happy and not dealing with drama? Is it easy to park at your meeting or an event or a fundraiser? This can go for anything in Rotary. And something that our team is talking about is the secret sauce. And the secret sauce is inspiration, is value for people's time, and giving people a chance to connect and being intentional in everything you do in a meeting. That helps with retention because when you allow members in your club to not only feel that their voice is heard, but they can get connected, get to know people better. They know that their time is being valued. And every week when they walk away from a meeting or an event, they're inspired. They're going to go back into the community and they're going to spread that. It's going to be a magic that happens. We're seeing it on the ground. And that not only brings new people in, but it retains who you already have because they feel alive in their Rotary meeting. And they feel that they can actually have a seat at the table. So that to me and what our team is seeing is the key to retention from a public image membership standpoint. So I just wanted to share that.
Well, thank you, because that's what we're talking about. How do you cultivate that um, environment and culture? Um, Demetrius, did you want to say something about that?
I just said right.
Okay. I saw your head move, so
Yes, in agreement, absolutely.
excellent. Yes. Sharon, did you want to add something to that or?
I would agree with everything Patrick said. It's about the connections. It's about taking the time and respect. I think engaging them and finding out what their interest is to be, let them feel like they can offer some suggestions and don't be closed-minded to new ideas and trying new things. And then telling their stories about what impact they're having in the community. It's sometimes they don't think about the story. They just go deliver the books to the school and they don't think about talking about the impact it had on the kids in that school. And I just think it's telling stories. I think it's connecting. I think it's respecting other people. And then Patrick said it too. They want to have a good time. They want to be inspired. They want to look forward to coming back next week. So I agree with all of that.
Well, now we've got these members that are engaged and we've cultivated them. The next question I want to ask is about identity. How do we, let me make this, how do you cultivate, how do you promote an identity of Rotary? How do you do that for individual members? Anyone want to take that up?
Can you
Promote an
clarify your-
identity.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, basically, we're saying there's a collaboration amongst foundation, membership, and public image. We want to try and drive that in in all our clubs, because again, as we said, these are three pillars. And from that image of a team building, how do we create a strong Rotary identity from that?
You
I
know,
can,
one of the reasons, okay, go ahead,
no,
Sharon.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
One of the reasons why I felt it necessary that we all partner together and we not only do we show our unification, but we acknowledge how we not only can make a greater impact is that we have teams, and we want those teams to know that we are working for the common goal. We are not in silos. And so, to me, if we can show the significance that we can do this from a zone level, then we can show that this cohesiveness can be integrated in our club level. It's really challenging when a president says, I can't get anyone to do anything, or it's always me, or it's always the same people. Well, we want to show that you can work together, and not only when we work together, we will be able to build greater will, not just the goodwill. And I wanted to demonstrate that. And I know Patrick and Sharon wanted to show that we are a team. We are one. We are not separate. We cannot go anywhere in foundation giving if we don't have members, right? And we can't tell that story if we don't see the significant impact of the brand. And so we feel like working together, we are able to do that. And so one of the things I was thinking is every single time we wear a pin or we wear a logoed apparel, or we're out in the community and we can show when I fly, I have a duffel bag, and it's amazing how many people say, "What is Rotary?" So that tells us we still have lots of work to do because there's people out there that don't know what we do. When we think about the size of some of our largest cities, and we don't have that many people in Rotary when we think about it. So that's the magnitude that we can make, but we have to continue to brand. And I will say, around the world, I had on my luggage, I just went to New Orleans and I had a luggage strap, and it was black and silver and just amazing, and it had Rotary all over it. Well, it's somewhere between the airport and the conveyor belt, but hopefully it is telling a story because someone is wondering, either I want that, I wanted that, or now that I have that, what can I do to make a difference? Because I too want to be a part of Rotary.
Yes.
If anybody knows where that is, please call 1-800.
Exactly.
No, it is amazing. I mean, I'm here in Chicago. This is the birthplace of Rotary, and yet it's amazing how many times I get that question. What is Rotary? Why are
And
you involved in Rotary? And I've answered that question many times. I will continue to answer it, but it always amazes me that this is something that we should be known for. I always tell them, you can talk about all the old gangsters and everything else, but Rotary started here and what we've done in the world. So that issue always keeps coming up. And that's why I say wear the pin.
Yeah.
And strongly identify. But again, one of the key things we've brought you three leaders. You are the three leaders at the zone level, and you support each one of you support membership, foundation, and public image at the district level and back to the club level. So, can you talk about how each one of your various strands create that support, work on that support?
well, one thing I just want to say, we have to start bragging about what we do. It's something we've been saying for years now. There was a gentleman one time at an event that Amber, one of our co-team members, who we all love Amber, and she and I were speaking and talking about bragging about what we do. And he came up and he said, not only was that the best thing I've ever heard about Rotary, but if we would have done it in the 80s, we wouldn't have a membership problem today. The truth is, we have to share everything that we're doing from the foundation level, from club, districts, and beyond. And from the public image standpoint and membership and foundation, we have an incredible group of team members. In fact, we just had a team meeting last week where we all got together. And it was really fun. We talked about recipes and unique things about ourselves, and we're really looking forward to working together. But we couldn't do this without the incredible teams that we have. And those teams are out on the ground with us, inspiring, supporting, training, giving learning opportunities so that clubs and districts know it's okay to work together, know it's okay to jump and do something big and come up with big ideas and try something new and see if it works. And I will tell you this, I'm very blunt about this. If you're listening to this and you're one of those presidents that's like, well, I can't get anybody to do anything, try inspiring them next time. Try inspiring the why. Why is it important to work together? And you will see a shift. And if you don't, get rid of those people and find some new ones. I mean, I'm just going to be blunt about it because we don't have time anymore for the three different pillars to be working together. We have to be unified because this is the number one most impactful organization on planet Earth. It's not a government. In fact, I would say it's more impactful than governments. And so if we don't start working together on the ground all the way around the world as a team, foundation, public image, and membership, we're going to have problems. So we're going to do it. We're going to continue to inspire the team effort, and we're giving the resources possible to make it happen. So if you're out there listening to this and you have struggled with it, reach out to one of us. Reach out to our teams. We're here to help you. I hope that answered your question.
I think we're very, we are very codependent, us three, and we really depend on each other. You know, you're right. If we don't have members, we're not going to have donors for the foundation, and that is the fuel that runs this organization. And if we don't have Patrick and his team helping us get information out in all different kinds of format for us in promoting every single thing we're doing, which they're very diligent at, then the word's not going to get out. So it's important. It's critical to work together to be successful. It's like any organization. If you have someone at the top that's not talking to anybody below you, that's a problem. And the people from the bottom are not going to come and talk to you. Well, in Rotary, Demetrius and Patrick and I all know we can pick up the phone and call one of our leaders, a president of Rotary, a past president of Rotary, any leader, and they will be happy to give us the time and talk to us and share ideas with us and listen to us. And we want to be that for the people we work with. We want to share, we want to grow, we want to help each other get stronger and be sure. I think as a group we'll get better. Hopefully our organization will get better. So I just think this coming together is really important. It's about time.
Excellent. Did you want to add anything to that, Demetrius?
No, I'm good.
All
I
right.
like-
Okay. I can sense the passion, and I'm gonna do this. It's on my list here, and I haven't done it myself. I'm challenging you to do it. So in one word, describe your passion for Rotary.
It's impact. It's impact. It's
Impact.
impact in others' lives. It's impact in my own life. I wouldn't be who I am today without the impact that this organization and all the beautiful Rotary family that I have has made on my life. And I can sleep at night. And I have friends that ask. I know you asked for one word, but I have to explain it.
No, the word is impact.
I have friends that ask, like, what is it about you? Like,
Mhm.
why do you feel so engaged and so alive and you feel calm in the storm, if you will? Because we can all admit that out in the world today, and it's been tough in the world the last whatever years, right? Everyone's divided and people are fighting and yelling and a lot of things going on in the world. But when you're in Rotary, we're non-political, non-religious. So we turn off certain stuff and we come in, we break bread, and we transform the world together. And so the impact is what is so key to this organization and why I am so proud to be a Rotarian for life.
Excellent. Yeah. Demetrius?
Mine, he said it in the mist, is engagement, because I have met so many people around the world through Rotary, and they started out in the conversation that we had something in common, and that is our Rotary family. And we have stayed engaged, and that is why we continue to be evolving And we definitely must do more in that engagement within our North America region, because we know that we are seeing a significant decline. But that tells me that we have work to do, and we are ready for the challenge, and we are going to overcome any of those objectives that we have that may show negative numbers. But engagement, because I love to talk. And I love meeting new people. And every single time I leave an international convention, I feel like my family has grown, especially for an only child. I have siblings now around the nation and around the world. And that, to me, has been significant.
Excellent. So impact, engagement. One of my favorite Rotary leaders always says about the mission. Says there's no money, no mission, no mission, no money. So I'm saying this before I come to you, Sharon.
Okay.
So what's your word, Sharon?
Well, I'm struggling with passion and also common core values. I mean, the core values of Rotary. I know that the Rotarians, all the Rotarians that I know, have core values in truth and in just core values that align with mine. And so I feel like we can accomplish more if we can come together and work together. And also aligns with the passions I have. I'm an educator, so we've got an area of focus that I can go give money to. My parents had health issues and uh, and died from those, and so I'm interested in disease prevention and treatment. There's an area of focus for that. Polio. I had polio in my family when I was a child and grew up with that in that generation. So a lot of feelings about that. So polio is important to me. And so there's a lot of alignment with my core values, my experiences, and what Rotary has to offer. And I think pretty much anybody can find something in Rotary that aligns with what they believe in.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so core values, the four-way test by itself is so important in everything we do, and everywhere I share it, it's one of those things I share, by the way, Patrick. That four-way test. When they ask me about Rotary, I just jump right into the four-way test. And people start to think about that, and like, wow, how did that come up? And then you tell that backstory. So thank you. I would like to get some of the Q&A from if I can get that out. I think there's a PDG that wants to actually speak with us. Farron, do you have that? All right, I'm not getting that right now. Let me share this. Here's something from one of our listeners here. It says Rotary's top humanitarian priorities to end polio. It seems Rotary is not given enough credit for raising funds for polio and for raising awareness, especially by local governments. Again, going back to the local governments. The local governments do not even know what Rotary is, that Rotary is instrumental in the eradication of polio by 99%. How can we have WHO have the local governments acknowledge Rotary?
So this is an ongoing discussion that everyone
Uh,
has that's a Rotarian, right? Sorry, Sharon, if you want to take it first, I'm just
I
go
I
for it.
just want to say a couple of things because I just heard John Germ speak about this at a foundation dinner Saturday night, and I've also heard other people talk about it in the last couple of weeks, specifically because people are concerned that we're not getting credit for what we do. But actually, uh, I think what we don't know is what's going on in the background and the work that's being done. You know, WHO funding was cut uh, as part of the funding cuts that happened earlier this year. And our Rotarians went and met with the people that made those decisions. And it was announced at Zone that they had funded all that money and refunded it back, refunded that level back to where it was. So they didn't really have any cut in polio. So Rotary doesn't always work in the open. There's a lot of people that are doing a lot of work in the background. And I think we need to focus on what we're doing and let people know I mean, we can certainly be ambassadors for polio. We can talk about it. We should talk about it. But I think as far as other people changing their minds, all we can do is talk about it and do what we do. But I depend on our Rotary staff and our Rotary people, Mike McGovern, and the people that actually handle Rotary polio projects to go in on our behalf and do the political maneuvers that they have to do to make that happen for us. So that's where I am. Patrick, go ahead with whatever you were going to say.
Well, no, I agree. And we are going to spread the word of Rotary's impact with ending polio through one by one, through Rotarian after Rotarian sharing the great work in their community. And I think another thing that we should really emphasize, and we continue to do it on the ground, and it really makes a difference in different different generational audiences that might not know what polio is, thank God, because of the great work that Rotary has done, is the infrastructure that Rotary has created. That's why it's called End Polio Plus, because the infrastructure that was created to end polio is now being used all over the world to eradicate other diseases, help with peace and conflict resolution, clean water, education, etc. So when you share all of this in your community, you will see people's eyes light up because they have no idea that work around the world for peace, eradication of diseases, water, education, etc., is being done with Rotary's infrastructure that we created to end polio. So the End Polio Plus, that plus side, is what we're continuing to talk about as we end polio, and we are very close. But again, like Sharon said, the WHO, UNICEF, and Rotary International, they have their own contractual things. They're dealing with their own stuff. And yes, it frustrates me. I'll be honest. Sometimes when I listen to Bill Gates or other people that mention they are getting better at it, but it is, I scream at the top of my lungs, Rotary, Rotary. And so the best way to do that is to show through action and sharing the impact in your communities through events, through storytelling, and through just sharing neighbor to neighbor.
Well, thank you. Another question, and this has to do with membership. It says, in the past 2 years, we have stemmed the loss, but now we're striving to increase our membership. I would like to hear what strategies other zones who are succeeding in increasing their membership numbers are using. Did you want to take that on, Demetrius?
Sure. I will definitely, one, give lots of kudos, and I wish we could have that rain and I could do that for our region because we have seen growth, and that growth is good and that growth is significant. But one of the key is retention. And we oftentimes talk about bringing new people in, and we realize that one of our initiatives is, is a strategy as well, is we have to develop new clubs. We have seen that many new Rotarian members are not suited for the traditional club. I cannot come every Thursday at noon. I cannot come every Wednesday at 7 a.m. So one strategy is looking at the demographic within the region or city that you reside and see what would work best for those individuals. One of the greatest things that I remember with Director-elect Tom Gump as district governor was he created all these really innovative new clubs, and they were cause-based clubs. And one was a club that was environment. And they go out every Saturday and they clean up parks. They didn't have to worry about a lunch. They didn't have to worry about being prepared and dressed up, but it was something that was so meaningful. And look at the impact that is made by cleaning up communities just by picking up paper. That is significant. That is a strategy. That is an initiative. And the other thing is Kristen, who is on our team, is a part of the cadre that is the new club creation. So that's another strategy that we have and we're utilizing. And that is an app that tells you how to start and develop a new club. So that's something that we need to become more engaged in. And then I wanted to add that we have not only action groups, but we have fellowships. And so when we think about not getting credit for some of the work that we do, just this weekend, I attended a couple of seminars that were on cervical cancer and some of the things that we are doing to help eliminate cancers like cervical cancer by education. And that is through our Healthcare Professionals Fellowship. I am a board member of that fellowship, but we are doing so much. And many times our stories are not getting told as much because we have to get those out on social media. And then we have to get people to like that. And then we have to get people to share. But what we have to do most of all is get more people. And the strategy is some of what we think is hard is the easiest, and that's ask. If we know that 20 people in our church are not Rotary members, why haven't we asked? If we know that 10 people in our jobs are not Rotarians, why haven't we asked? If we know in our community we don't have a Rotaract club, why don't we start one? If we know that we don't have an Interact club to grow them so that when they go to college or community and serve, why haven't we started one? That's the greatest strategy is initiate a conversation and find those who are willing to get it started. The car will not run without gasoline. So let's put some fuel on the fire and let our words do the magic.
Excellent.
And then when you
I yield the mic.
Yeah, and then when you ask, you have to make sure that your club is ready for the onset of people coming.
Cultivate.
Because a lot of people think public image is social media and media. It's not. Public image is, those are tools of public image. Telling the story, that's a tool. It's all about how you feel. It's how do we make people feel when they walk in the door? Are they being, like I said earlier, greeted, inspired, value for your time? You ask, and then you make sure that they are welcomed and you have a dynamic speaker program, a dynamic club experience. We've been telling people on the ground, don't have boring speakers anymore. We would rather you not have a speaker, okay? If you know they're going to be boring, do something with social, get to know people in your club, do a connection hour, do a service project inside the club. And we're getting great feedback. People are starting to really, the light bulbs are going off. And so this is the way membership and public image and foundation work so hand in hand in a club experience every day. You have dynamic members. You go out and ask the community to come after they've heard a great story about something you're doing. You make sure they're greeted and they feel welcomed and they're inspired, and you do a great service project together. You see the magic when someone experiences that. I also said that when you have a new member come into a club, the best way to ask them is through service. And that's what's great about Director-elect Tom's club, that environmental club that he helped start. I did a service project with them in Duluth. And I think it was either an offset of the club or the original club. And they were awesome. And we got our hands dirty. We cleaned up an entire area near the aquarium. And when you see new prospective members serving for the first time before they even learn what Rotary really is, it's really magical to see because they get hooked. So hope that makes sense.
So much to say and very little time. We're getting close to our hour and we don't want to go over, but I want to wrap. There are a couple of things I'm reading through some of this Q&A. Couple of things you've already answered, but people are, I guess you've modeled it properly. They're trying to see how do you align membership, public image, and foundation at the club level. People want to know about that, and also how do they reach you? And I'm thinking again, this is why I asked that brought this up earlier. You all have teams, and those teams actually work with the district and work with clubs. So if you want to take that on, let me know what your thoughts are on that.
Can you repeat the first part of the question?
So the first was how do you align these three different pillars? These three pillars at the club level?
They start meeting together.
Okay.
They start coming into a room together and getting a whiteboard, just like the three of us did.
Which you're modeling. That's what I'm saying.
Sharon and Demetrius and I, not with our teams first, just because we didn't want to. It's hard to get everybody's schedules aligned, but we all got together on the call and we said, "Hey, what do we want to do?" And so you start there. You start in a whiteboard session. You start coming up with goals and ways that you three can work together in a club, because every club's different. So we could sit here and tell you how one thing works, but it might not work in another club in another part of the region. Communication is key. One thing that I notice a lot of people go, well, I didn't know we had to talk a lot. I'm like, well, yeah, if you want to have a successful team or have a successful collaboration, you got to pick up the phone at least once a week or every 2 weeks and have a conversation. It doesn't work just meeting once a quarter. And so communication, whiteboarding, coming up with goals together, and having each other's backs. I have Demetris and Sharon's back. I have their team's backs. Our team has their team's back, period. We have each other, and we're going to support each other through the really good times and some of the tough times, because, life is life. But that's the key. It's a family. And you go out into the world together and you make a difference. So I hope that makes sense. It sounds a little cheesy, but it's true. So.
Yeah. Well, they're asking for emails and stuff. We can get all that information to them. Finally, I want each one of you to give me in a minute your final thoughts. So as we wrap this up here. So who wants to go first? Sharon?
Well, I'll say,
Oh,
Okay.
Demetris. Okay, go
Demetrius,
ahead.
go ahead.
okay. I was going to say, first of all, a final thought to all of our listeners and participants for this evening. Thank you. And that's what I say to our panelists. Thank you. Thank you for being the genuine leaders that you are, always willing to support not only Rotarians, Rotaractors, Interactors, but all things Rotary. That has broadened my view and vision, and it has provided success. And I think the great thing that we must do is continue to share our stories. And our stories start by us sharing a bit of ourselves. And so I thank them for not only sharing with us, for all of those who will hear the recording. Thank you. Thank you for being a part of this family, and let's continue to enrich it and be empowered by the work that we do every single day, because you make a difference. Blessings.
Thank you. Demetris? Sharon?
Well, I just agree with what Demetrius just said. It takes a village, and it takes all of us working together and sharing ideas. And I think it's the intent. The intent if you're going to do this, it's got to be intentional. You've got to bring people together, and you've got to be open and honest, and with a common belief in what you want to accomplish. And that is growing Rotary and get more in donations to Rotary and having better public image. And when Demetrius was appointed for her position, we couldn't get a hold of her fast enough and say, hey, we want you on our team. We want to meet with you. We want to work together this year. And so we're thrilled that she has done that. And we learn from each other. We grow from each other. And we want to support our districts. We want to support our members. And this is empowering us to do that and hopefully empowering them to do that.
Excellent. Thank you, Patrick.
I just want to say I'm so excited for the future of Rotary. Listen, we have 1.2 million members around the world. That is amazing. I know that we want 5.9, 10.11, 10.10, or whatever the number, 10.6, I'm tired. I'm excited that we have 1.2 million people that are willing to dedicate service above self and change the world together. And so the more that foundation, membership, and public image work together all over the Rotary world, and the more we tell our stories, the more we share the impacts in the why, not the what, but the why. What was the impact of that project we just did? The more we inspire our Rotarians inside club meetings and events and have them go out into the world and naturally just share that inspiration, we are going to double, triple, quadruple this organization and the impacts that it makes. So I'm excited about the future. I'm honored beyond imagination to have this amazing team of my Rotary sisters with me. And I want to thank each of our teams, because our teams are rock stars. Our teams are amazing. Thank you to Demetris's team for putting this together tonight. You guys rock. And thank you to each and every one of our team members. Thank you for your dedication, for everything you bring to the table, because we, as a 3-team group, are going to really make a huge difference in the next year and a half and beyond in our region and in Rotary. So
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick, Sharon, and Demetris. And thank you to all of you who joined us tonight. This conversation is part of our ongoing effort to support clubs in building strong, vibrant membership cultures. Please join us next month when we shift to a powerful theme, creating a culture of belonging and engagement. We will have a special guest, and you won't want to miss it. Thank you, everyone. Keep doing good in the world, and good night.
Thank you. Good
Thank
night.
you.